Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thank you for joining us on this lesson on playing thirds on guitar. Thirds are a particular interval that we use a lot in guitar playing, and it creates all kinds of great guitar parts. So there's a download PDF that goes along with this. The link for that is in the YouTube description down below. There's also a couple of practice tracks that I put the links to those YouTube videos to that you can practice with the actual practice tracks that I'm using here as well. So make sure you have downloaded this PDF before we get started. All right, so let's talk about what intervals are on guitar. Okay, interval is the distance between one note and another note. It's a distance, okay? So it can be like if I'm here at this C and I want to go up to an E. That's the third step in the C major scale, C, D, E. That interval we would call a third because it's 3 steps away. The distance from a C to an F would be called a fourth. Distance from C to a G. That space between those two notes is the interval of a fifth, and you have them in, you have major scale intervals, C to a D, a major second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and then an octave, okay? An octave, 8 steps away. Now, we also, so we talk about thirds. Thirds sound like this, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And there's also sixths, octaves, tenths. Just has to do with the width of the interval. So we're going to start off with thirds. So that's the main thing. Now, how you play them on guitar? Well, here's the deal. If they usually occur on adjacent strings, so since that's the most common, that's what we're going to cover first. So take a look at the bottom of page 1. And it talks about how they come on string sets. So the guitar is tuned in fourth, except for between the third and the second string. That's a third, so it's a little bit different. Everything else, the distance from an E to an A is a fourth, A to a D is a fourth, D to a G is a fourth, G to a B is a third, major third, B to an E, that's a fourth. So 4 of these string set combinations are the same, and we're going to use that to our advantage. So when I'm playing thirds on guitar, it's the same fingering. So let's first learn it with the root on the 6th string. So I'm going to put my second finger on this G on the 6th string. And if I just did the major scale up, if you want to follow along with me, this would be on page 2. So if you want to get the PDF and take a look at page 2. If I did a G scale just up on that string, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, so there's the scale. Usually we play that in a position, but this time, for our purposes here, we're going to play it up the neck. Now, if I add a third on top of each of those in the key of G, so it's going to change between a major third, the distance from a G to a B, and then if I do the next step up, an A, but now go from A to now C, so instead of 1 to 3, I'm now going 2 to 4 in the G scale. That ends up with what's called a minor third. So a major third, we're going to play that with our second finger on the lower string, our first finger on the upper string of fret back. So that's a G and a B. That would be a G major third. If I go up to the next one with an A, now the finger combination is not 2 in 1, but it's 3 in 1. So you'll notice on the example there, I have it written in music notation, I've got it written in tab, and then I also put finger numbers on there as well. So you can see, so these first batch that we're going to do is going to be the first form, and there's only one of them that's in this other form, the one that starts on the 3rd string. So we're going to start on the first form. 2 in 1, then 3 in 1, scoot up to B, and I do 3 in 1 again. I want you to pay attention to the combination of patterns. It's either going to be a 2 in 1 or a 3 in 1. Starts out on a 2 in 1, then we have a 3 in 1, a 3 in 1, a 2 in 1, a 2 in 1, a 3 in 1, a 3 in 1, and a 2 in 1. So if you want to think of it, it's alternating between 2 3 in 1s and 2 2 in 1s, but it just starts in the middle of a phrase. So here you get 2 in 1, and then 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 in 1, 2 of these 3-in-1s. Well, Steve, that's cool and all, but you know, what can you really do with them? Well, that's where you can take this little idea, this little key, and we're going to start making some music with it. So I'm going to turn on the track. Now let me talk you through what's happening here. I created a track just to help you practice with it. It's called Practice Track in G, I believe it's what it's called. And it's at 100 beats per minute. Let me kind of get it up here. And I just created a little 16-bar track there of me going up the scale and then up and down the scale in half notes. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to turn on the track, and I'm going to play it for you as I want you to practice it, and then I'll just kind of start to improvise a little bit and show you some of the fun things that you could do with these thirds. So let's get the track going, and we're going to start on these G triads. Here's the A and D. So this is just meant to help you practice. D. Just doing whole notes on each. Now we're going to do half notes. Take them up again. And now let's go back down. And it's going to play it again. So I can maybe mess around a little bit. And I want you to try and improvise. Still taking the same intervals. All right, just some ideas. It's just some ways to practice your these forms of the intervals. So I'd encourage you to practice it going up and taking them down. Maybe I can do them instead of playing them both together. Maybe I can just separate them. Maybe I can. Now these are kind of low, so they're a little hard to hear, but this is on the 6th string. But now let me show you what we can do. When you go down to we were using the 6th and 5th string, let's change from our root being on the 6th string to a root on the 5th string, and let's do them, let's say, in the key of C. So take a look at the second line example on page 2. Now I'm just going to scoot everything down to the 5th and 4th string. My second finger is still on the 5th string, 3rd fret C now. But what I want you to notice, it's the same finger pattern. 2-in-1, then 3-in-1, 3-in-1, 2-in-1, 2-in-1, 3-in-1, 3-in-1, 2-in-1. Let me do that again. This is all notated in that second line. Remember, the circled notes are your finger notations. The fingers you're supposed to be using. Then I can practice them going down. Now, if I was on electric, I wouldn't have to be up here in the stratosphere because you have a cutaway, but I don't have a cutaway on this one. So that's in the key of C. There's some wonderful little creative ground that you can cover using these intervals, 2-in-1, 3-in-1. That's what I want you to think about, is the use of the fingers, the pattern of the fingers. All right, gotcha. We've done it on the 6th string. We've done it on the 5th string. If only it could work on another string, and it does. Let's scoot our hand back here to the 4th string, 2nd fret, and we're going to play our 2nd finger on the E. 1st finger on the G sharp. So we're going to do them now in the key of E. Same thing. 2 and 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 1. It's a pattern. Do you see? I don't have to know all this stuff. It's a pattern. All I have to do is memorize the pattern and where the root is at. In a minute, I'm going to show you a great way to practice these and get some really good creative sounds out of using just these intervals, but combining with some open strings. So if I did it in E, there they are right there. So if I had my, let's say I was doing a little blues like I was doing a little bit earlier. Now you'll notice sometimes I'm playing a few other little combinations of triads in there too, or intervals. These are the regular major scale ones, but sometimes it's fun to slip in one that's maybe a little minor third here to give it a little bit bluesy sound. If I did a major third, sounds very sweet and happy. If I do minor thirds, a little bit more bluesy. What if I did, instead of the B and the D sharp, what if I did a B and a D natural? Kind of gives it that bluesy sound when I start incorporating some of these bluesy notes. But I encourage you first to learn the major scale versions up and down. So it's the same finger pattern whether I'm on the 6th, the 5th, or the 4th string with a root. Now, does it work on the 3rd? No, but we're going to get to that in a second. But it does work on the 2nd string. So take a look at page, what would it be, page 3, top of page 3, and let's do them in the key of D. So I'm going to put my 2nd finger on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret, D, and go up here to this F sharp. Same pattern, 2 and 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Sometimes I can throw a little chromaticism in there. Fun. Just a good way to come up with some ideas on the patterns on the guitar. It's just fun to see. You don't have to learn notes all the time. Sometimes you can just learn the patterns. If I move this same pattern from the key of D and I did it up here in the key of G, I end up with a G and a B, A and a C, B and a D. Of course, I start running out of the neck there, so I can just continue going down. Hey, we're starting to get into make some music. Brown-Eyed Girl, that's next week. And that's where we're heading, using these thirds. Okay, so I've taught them to you with form 1. Learn them 2 and 1, 3 and 1, and that combination, the lower note is always the root with your 2nd finger. That's the key. All right, once you can play them up and down, you've got the track there to help you out. Let's learn the other form that works only on the 3rd string. So we did roots on all the others, but we haven't learned the one on the 3rd string. So let's talk about the 3rd string. So if I have a root on the 3rd string, let's say this A, okay? Well, because of how the guitar is tuned, the fingering is going to be different. So take a look at, excuse me, bottom of page 3, and that's the 2nd form. So I'm going to use, you'll notice on the A and C sharp, it's got finger 1 and finger 1. I'm just going to bar that 1st finger. Now for the next one I can do 2 2 and 1. I want you to look at the shape. This is a straight line. This one is offset by 1 fret. Now, whether I play it really with 2 and 1 or 3 and 2, sometimes that's going to be more comfortable to play at 3 and 2, depending on your musical situation. So just realize the shape is what's important, not necessarily which combination of fingers that you use. Now, on the other one, you're just not going to use 2 and 4 very much, so it kind of lends itself to just being 2 and 1 and 3 and 1. But here with this one, sometimes you'll need to play this with a bar with the first finger, or maybe even the third. Okay, so if I keep going up in the A, I have this straight bar, then 2 and 1 or 3 and 2. If I scoot that up 2 frets, I have the next one. What if I just did a bar here with my third finger on the next one to catch the D and the F sharp? It's all written in the PDF there. If I scoot this up 2 frets, I have a bar there. Now I could play it with my first finger if I wanted to. 2 and 1, 2 and 1, maybe the bar. So the bars tend to be maybe with your first or your third finger, depending on whether you're going up or down. And then the other shape tend to be 1 and 2 or 3 and 2. Okay. It's a different shape, so you got to get used to playing that. So let's get a little bit of practice with that. I made a practice track for the key of A. So that's the next one we're going to do. I'm going to take this practice track. We're going to do the same thing like we did before. Whole notes going up, and then we do half notes going up and down. And then just for fun, I put in a little bit of an A blues, 12-bar blues, just for you to kind of improvise a little bit on that. So here we go. We're going to try this one more time, and we're going to use the A track. Ready, go. Do it again in half notes. 1, 2, 1. So it's not meant to be the most musical thing in the world, but it's just giving you some help practicing. Let's go back down. Now let's do a little bit of an A blues, and I'll just improvise. Now, what if I mixed in some others? Let's keep the track going. We're back to the whole notes. See how I'm still using these thirds, but I'm just kind of improvising the rhythm. What if I start mixing in some other ones? All right, there you go. some ways to practice. So you don't always have to just go up and down. That's great to learn them, but after that you want to start making music with them. And how do we do that? By just letting our ear play around with some of this stuff. That's why I got those tracks so you can mess around with that. It's not just scales and busy work. Yes, you need to do that. But it's more important that you start hearing kind of where you want to take it. But Steve, I don't know how to improvise. This is the baby pool. This is the baby steps of how to do it. Pick one. Maybe skip up to the third. Play around with rhythms. And you can get some good elements of riffs and things like that in your playing. All right, so we've talked about thirds that start with on the 6th, 5th, or 4th string, and then the 2nd string. And then we've talked about this other form that starts with the 1st string kind of in a bar. So there you go. That's how you play thirds on the guitar. They are a key to countless songs and little riffs that come along, which we're going to learn one of those in the next lesson. We're going to talk about Brown Eyed Girl. Now, there's also a workout that goes along with this. So if you want to not just learn the information, everybody can watch a YouTube video and learn the information, but it's the guy that actually spends some time with his instrument trying to get it underneath your fingers that you get the work done. So I'd encourage you to vary up how you practice these. Play them in different keys. Don't just do them in G here. Well, there's a G there. What if I did, the upper ones? Hey, it's a pattern. Look at this. 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. If I go to the next G here on the 4th string, it's the same pattern. 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. If I go to the next G, 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 2, 1, 3, 1. It's a pattern. There you go. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Keep up the great work in your learning and learn all you can from this. We'll see you in the workout on the next lesson.